features now you can do with this. Hold on a second. Let me. All right, man. Let's get it started, man. I know y'all got a lot going. I know they got the debate tonight. They got a lot of stuff going on tonight, man. So if y'all tune in tonight, man, we definitely appreciate y'all. If y'all catch us on the replay, definitely go ahead, share it, like and share it. I know most people catch us on the replay, but we got to increase our live audience, man. So don't forget on Tuesday nights we come on right before the 5150 show, so that way you can still get your Corey Holcomb on. And but we'll be off before he come on. He usually drop down to like about 10. We'll be off by that time. So you still get your 5150 on. Let's go ahead and start the introduction. Let's go ahead and get started, man. Again, my name is Brandon B. Dixon. NMLS 1541210 is at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go to the YouTube as well at Billionaire Loan Officer. If you want to book me for a consultation or if you want to apply for a mortgage, go to www.applywithb.com. I'm seeing a lot of people. I get the stats now on the hits, man. I know I'm getting a lot of hits on the website, but I want to see more applications. So go to my website, www.applywithb.com. You can call me 24/7, 832-775-8357. Also, if you want to lease, if you want to list, or if you want to get investment property, don't forget I'm a luxury realtor as well. Go to my website, brandonbdixon.com, if you want to book me there. Last but not least, go to the cocinvestmentclub.com. Just got off the phone conference call with some investors, man. Now's a good time to, if you want to get in the fix and flip game, if you want to mitigate your risk, we got the properties, man. We got the formula. Which is more important. Corey, I got you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right. Corey Smith, Commodore Mortgage, here for all your mortgage needs, investment, primary residence, whatever it may be. If you have a difficult situation, come holler at me. We'll help you get it done.
Gotcha. All right, so let's go ahead and get it kicked off, man. I only got a few. I'm gonna play some. I'm gonna kind of bust this in half. I'm gonna play some of the latest like real estate videos, the first half, and then I want to look at my man Anton Daniels' video and react. I hadn't seen it. I just seen the highlight, but I want to see what he got to say about this. This barnstorm that's been hitting over this weekend. So I want to. And we'll react to it. We'll play a little bit of his video and then we'll react to it. But first off, let's get to some of these the latest real estate vids. So let's see what they're talking about. These are the top 4 trending ones right here. So let's go ahead and get it started, man. I thought it was playing. I'm pressing play on it. It looks like it's frozen. Can you see the screen at least?
Yep. You see the screen.
Yeah, this is not playing at all. Hold on a second. Let me try something else. Give me 1 second. We struggle streaming right now.
Struggle streaming. Like that.
Yeah, this one frozen completely. Let me try this next one. Uh-oh. Ain't none of them playing. Hold on. I don't know what's going on. Let me log off of Instagram and log back in real quick. Let's try one more time. All right, here we go. That was it. You got to sometimes start from the beginning.
Got to refresh technology.
You got to refresh that thing. All right, here we go.
For you. We are always broke.
We are real estate investors, and real estate investors are notorious for being very cash short because real estate sucks up capital, down payments, renovation. There's that return and there's that stretching, which we're always trying to do. This was something when Lori met me, she had to get used to.
It was shocking. My real estate mogul husband was borrowing money from my student loan payouts to cover,
a new roof.
And I was like, what is going on? And guess what? We've got broke 3 times since.
Badly broke.
But we believe in the process and we believe in real estate, and we are so confident about our long-term wealth that it's fun.
And this is such a common thing. There's a term for it. It's called being house poor. It's okay to be house poor if you're being sensible about it. We've been house poor multiple times, and I promise you we'll be house poor many, many more times
I think we are
in
right
the future.
now.
We are right now, yes.
We got a little secret for you. We are always broke.
All right, so what do you think of that? True, false? I'll let you go ahead and rock it first with that.
Yeah, first off, I definitely think that's false. I'm looking at the dress attire, it spells everything else but broke.
Right.
But I think, when it comes to real estate, it's a tangible asset that can actually create long-term wealth. I think they're kind of scaring people off when they're talking about they stay broke. Broke is relative. So, you could talk to somebody and they have $1 million inside their account and they'll say, I'm broke, right? So I definitely think that's relative. I definitely don't think that you get into real estate investing and you stay broke. That's not the goal.
Right.
The goal is to get in and make money. Some houses you're going to win in, some houses you're going to lose in. But at the end of the day, if you're buying smart and you're making smart decisions, you're not going to be broke. Right. You may not have as much cash in the account, but you're going to have wealth inside the assets of these houses. Right. They're going to be cash flowing. Eventually, you'll get enough cash flow to set you up for retirement or retire yourself. Retire your wife, retire you, and then you can essentially do what you want to do and put a property management company in place. But I definitely think what they're saying is a little bit deceiving. I think a little bit sarcastic.
Right. I think they were trolling. This is my, I think it was like a trolling type video. But I could see their point where it's a frame of mind because I play broke as well. I hustle like I'm broke, and I play broke in my mind. I'll be broke, and that's just a mentality. And I don't. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was like, "Damn, why you trying to get this little bitty ass deal? Why you worry about, if you got it like that, you wouldn't be worried." Like, nah, that's not how my mentality. I'm going, if it's $1,000 or $100,000, I'm going to try to close it the same. If it's out there, I'm going to try to get it, and that's just my mentality. It's like, I'm just not going to weigh, $1,000, $2,000. That add up, you just letting that buy, so I always, what is a small deal, small refi deal, 100,000, I'm going to hustle the same way if it was $1 million deal, so absolutely. That's just how I roll. So it's in my mind, I play broke. I'm not flashy. I don't think I ever get to where I have enough money that I'll walk over $1 and not pick it up. If I can bend down to pick it up, I'm going to pick up the $1. That's just all that add up.
I think it's a disease, when people become complacent, right? Anytime you have people that's making $80, $90, $100,000 a year, you become complacent because you're just like, hey, look, family good, I'm good.
Right.
That's all I really want to do.
Right.
But I think, what gets in the way of a great life is a good life, right? So, you're living a good life right now, so you don't really have any motivation to go and grind. You don't have any motivation to stop and pick up that $1 because, you're just like, man, everything's good. So, I'm fine. So you're kind of being a silver spoon baby, but you're actually doing it to yourself. I think you always have to grind like you broke. And I
Right.
think the very wealthy people always do grind like they broke. I think eventually, you know what I'm saying, you become to the point where you get so wealthy that now you're starting to delegate. Now,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, your time becomes a little bit more valuable. You're still not stepping over that dollar, but hey, man, you know what I'm saying, I don't have time to stop for that dollar, but I'll pay the next guy. Hey, look, you pick up that dollar, you know what I'm saying? I get 50 cents, you get 50 cents.
Right.
But
Right.
it's still a grind at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody's ever rich enough to step over that dollar and keep running. But
Right.
I definitely think, you know what I'm saying, complacency is a big problem.
Right. I think as soon as you start, there's the old cliche: a rich man count pennies, a poor man count dollars. So as soon as you start here, that's when you on the verge of going broke. I'll let that go. I'll let that go. I couldn't figure this out. This is back when I was in right after college. I had a friend of mine who would charge retail prices like for like used stuff. Like he'll have an old TV and he'll try to sell it for like store prices. Like, come on, bro, this is store prices, bro. I can go to Walmart and get this TV.
I go get it brand new. You know what I'm saying?
Get
What
it
I paying
brand new,
you
like.
for?
But we used to like clown them, not really clown them, but get on like, man, why are you trying to charge your friends like this? But he was actually being a good businessman. It's like, hey, if you want to buy it, this is my price, and it is what it is. So
yeah.
I mean, but
and here's the other thing too, is that, you know what I'm saying, some people just understand the concept of business. Like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, even if I say retail, if I say I'm charging you $100 for this TV or whatever the case may be, you come to me, you know what I'm saying, and say, man, look, this is a used TV, I'll pay you $75. Okay. He might accept 75, knowing that if he started at 75, you might come in there and try to get him down to 45 or $40. You know what I'm saying?
This dude here wanted straight up retail prices. You know what I'm saying? This dude wanted retail prices. I'm like, damn. But see, it taught me a valuable lesson, because when it came to friends, if I thought we were friends, I would damn near give it to you. Like, hey, man, just give me $100. And it'd be well below market value. And I'll just be, use that as this, hey, this is my partner. I wasn't really trying to make money off it, but I mean, that's part of that just let the dollars pass you. Like, hey, nah, this is valuable merchandise. If you want it, this is what I got for it. Is if the cool points go out the window, it's a matter of, hey, this is all business. Everything, even all relationships are business.
Yeah, but Tim said this boils down to, it kind of takes it another place, but you know what I'm saying, it boils down to, you know what I'm saying, a different mindset that most people don't have. Most people should have, is that, you know what I'm saying, if you a buddy of mine or we have that type of relationship, I want to see you win just as much as you want to see me win. Like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not sitting here trying to, get over on you, you know what I'm saying, trying to charge you all this money or whatever the case may be. If I can do something for a good friend of mine or somebody we have a good relationship, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? No problem. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see you do good. You don't have a TV in your dorm room? I got 2 of them. Man, look, just give me a little something, you know what I'm saying, to buy me some lunch or something. Go ahead and take this TV because I want you to have a TV too.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? You got most people that just like, man, look, you know what I'm saying, I got 2 TVs. You're going to have to pay me retail for it. Or I can go out here on this black market and go get retail for it, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
That just speaks to the type of person that you're dealing with. I just don't think we have enough that want to see you win, just like, you know what I'm saying?
I used to, at that age, I used to take example A. But as I'm getting older, it's like, all right, I see where you're coming from as far as example B. Like, I want to see you win, but at the same time, it's like, why, if it's worth this much and you can Google it, it's worth this much, I want to get this much, and like, and you should reciprocate the same energy, you know what I mean? Like, I used to be like that, but it just never added up. Like, I would give out all these freebies, and I gave away a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Just give away, because I have a bunch. I just gave away a whole bunch of stuff when I, with this to the Goodwill and stuff like that. It's but at least you're gonna get the tax credit for it. So like, it's a matter of, I guess more as I get older, it's more respect. We respect each other as far as, all right, I don't want no shortcuts from you. You shouldn't want any shortcuts from me.
Okay. I think that's relative though. That's relative to what you're dealing with. right? Because you know what I'm saying, if there's a buddy of yours that come to you, you know what I'm saying, you got the knowledge. If you see him getting ready to walk into a dark hole and fall in, I think it's some kind of responsibility for you to be like, hey man, don't walk over
But
there.
that's different.
You know what I'm saying? That's a trap. You know what I'm saying?
That's a different scenario. I'm talking monetary. We're talking monetarily here.
Right. I mean, but even monetarily, you know what I'm saying? I think in some respects, you know what I'm saying, the same concept could be applied monetarily as well. But I think it just every situation is different. We'll put it that way. Every situation is different.
Now, monetarily, like I said, I give away a whole bunch of free advice. You know what I mean? It's free knowledge. But like I said, a lot of people don't want it. A lot of people don't earn it. That's what the whole biblical thing about, you know, why cash your pearls to swine. I'm getting older and realizing that too. Like I'm giving out all these Jews that I'm a research advocate, and I took my time, and and some people reject it. Like, damn, I'm trying to give you this life preserver, and you kicking it back to me. So like it's everything in moderation. I think it needs to be earned, and that's what I'm getting to the point. Like to that, like, all right, and I'll do the same thing for you. Like, let's say for example, I wouldn't pay retail. I wouldn't go that far. I think he was kind of extreme. I wouldn't give you retail price, but I would want, instead of just giving a steal, I'm more fair market value. Let's put it like that. I kind of moved to more the middle a little bit. So before I would give it to you, like, then all right, then just give me $100. You know what I'm saying, babe? Pay me a soda or something. Give me a soda. Give me a 2-piece chicken or something.
It's a lot of goddamn chicken for $100, B. You know what I mean?
I mean, but you know what I mean. It'll be something to that effect. Just kind of player points, but that don't really pay off. It just had to pay it off.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So let's run the next one. Let's run this next one right here. Let's see what's going on with this next one. Again, these are the top 4 that I've seen researched. The top 4 new real estate clips.
It really isn't. In 12 months, if you have the right plan and the right guidance, you can go from broke essentially to running up at least 50 a month, maybe even 100 a month if you really play everything correctly. And starting from no money, no credit whatsoever. You just have to be smart about what you do with the money. But man, it's incredible. And starting from no money. And man, if you know the trade of wholesaling, you can f your money up in the process a couple times. It doesn't have to be 12 months. It could be a longer cycle till you really, really get it right. You can f up and go broke a bunch of times. If you know how to wholesale, you can solve your problems in 30 days. It doesn't matter how you are. I f***ed up my butt, like, because I'm trying to get rich. I'm trying to get wealthy. So like, and my belief in myself sometimes is psychotic. There's no other business like it. There really isn't. In 12 months.
So again, I think I'll let you go ahead and react to the first.
First off, I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, who else will?
Right.
So I mean, you know what I'm saying, you got to have confidence in yourself. So what I like to relate this issue to is kind of like, you know what I'm saying, a basketball player that shoots jumpers. Kobe went into the gym, shoot 1,000 jumpers a day, right? So when you get to the game, you got so much confidence in yourself because you've done it repetitiously over and over again. But you know what I'm saying, when you don't do it repetitiously, and then when you don't fall in love with it to do it on a consistent basis, that's when you start to self-doubt yourself. That's when you start to make bad decisions that would actually get you broke. So, you know what I'm saying, what he was saying is that, yeah, wholesaling is cool. You know what I'm saying? Wholesaling is a way that you can actually get quick cash or whatever the case may be. But what are you doing with that cash? Are you consistently getting $20,000, $30,000 on a wholesale and then you going and blowing it in the club? Or you getting $20,000 or $30,000, you know what I'm saying, and then you putting it on prize picks? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing with that money? Like, you need to be taking that money and putting it into other investments that's going to give you a cash flow on a month-to-month basis. So I definitely believe, you know what I'm saying, you got to believe in yourself. But I don't believe in being stupid with the money once you get it.
Right. I took it as more like I definitely agree with that. You definitely have to have confidence, but I think he was saying like, I'm thinking he's saying like anybody could get into wholesale and solve all their problems and get rich. I think that's exceptions to the rule. Like, there's a top 10%, top 5%, top 1%. And those are the outliers. I think if that was the case, if it was a fountain to get rich, everybody would be a wholesaler. I think it's, and he was the way he's presenting it, the rhetoric that he's saying is like, yeah, anybody is unbelievable. You can get into it, and I think with your hustle and your confidence, I think anything you get into, you'll be top 1% or top 5%, top 10%. I don't think the vehicle of wholesaling is that magical vehicle. I think it's his hustle and his, and his confidence is what's taking him and to that success. So
and wholesaling is a hustle. It definitely
wholesaling is definitely a hustle. So I don't think a person hearing that will think wholesaling, oh, that's the key. Nah, his hustle is the key. You take his hustle and apply it to anything, you're gonna be successful.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think people run into the shiny object syndrome, right? You know what I'm saying? Because even though it's possible that anybody could actually do wholesaling, I think it's a lot of people that actually can't do wholesaling.
Right.
Because you have to have a certain type of tenacity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people like to talk themselves out or talk themselves down the ladder before they even had a chance to make it halfway up the ladder. Because they negative. Man, they ain't gonna give me no chance. Man, they shut the door on me, man. I heard no twice, you know what I'm saying? Such and so on and so forth. Some people just have that phobia in them that they're going to fail. Some people have that phobia in them that they just can't talk to strangers. They can't talk to people. Right. And when they do run into people in these situations where they got a wholesale, they can't find out what to say. They end up stumbling over each other, over themselves, or, they end up saying the wrong thing. So even though I think it's a principle that you can apply to anybody, I don't think everybody has the ability to do it. Just like I don't think everybody has the ability to be in sales. Some people deserve to be behind a desk being told what to do from 9 to 5. Everybody doesn't have an entrepreneurial spirit. Everybody has to find out what their strength is and then go with it.
Right. And I think, statistics show like most people are incels and voluntarily, especially males, involuntarily celibate, so they can't even talk to girls. So a lot of people are, especially this Gen Z, have a phobia of social settings
and rejection.
That's why it's the swipe right, swipe left generation. So if you can't even talk yourself on selling yourself, it's hard to sell a product. Outside yourself. So a lot of people just don't have it. And they can't get out of their own way. So and that's what inhibits most people. It's not the opportunity is not. It's not that you don't have the opportunity to do it. It's just that something in you won't allow you to do it.
Correct. It's all a mindset.
Right.
Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you right both ways.
Right. So most people, I think, the way he paints it is going to look at wholesaling the ticket and look at it, but how you do one thing is mostly how you're going to do everything.
Correct.
So if you at your job right now, wherever you at, and you at the bottom tier, most likely you get into this, you're going to be at the bottom tier. It's not the vehicle, it's the man that's driving the vehicle.
Person. Yeah. Absolutely.
So don't look at the wholesale and think this is the Willy Wonka ticket. It's still all traced back to you. And
then here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, is that's why there's gurus popping up all over the place that's coming up with these online courses and all this other stuff. Right. Because they know majority of the people that get into it, it's probably going to be less than 5% that actually succeed. Because everybody wants the results, but nobody wants to do the work to get the results. Period. Right. But you know what I'm saying, they're willing to pay the money in the hopes that they get the results and that it somehow is going to magically land in their lap, which is unfortunate, but that's how a lot of these gurus make a whole bunch of money for a short period of time.
Well, that's the whole thing about capitalism is like you selling the diet pills, it's still is the Jack and the Beanstalk. You're selling the magic beans, and the magic beans equal the shortcut. You're selling a shortcut. Diet pills, these gut busters, everything from that to BBLs, and instead of it's all selling that particular dream.
Yep. That's
so,
all you gotta do is pull at people's heartstrings, you know what I'm saying, and make them believe that these dreams is gonna happen overnight. Right. And they'll jump over each other. They'll pay you every dime they have it inside their account, banking on that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Right. So let's run this this next one real quick.
A 9 to 5 should only be used to fund your own business.
That's
Like
it.
I don't
To
think
push
nobody
you.
should ever get a job and say I'm gonna be the 10-year best employee of the year. Like nobody should ever think that, because if you ever late too many times, they're gonna get rid of you. They don't care what you got going on in your family. They don't care about nothing. If I'm the business and you always late and you doing this, I'm firing you. It's plain and simple. I don't give a damn what you got going on, because I know I got 1,000 applications and they gonna grind hard because they need this money to fund their business or just to work here forever. So I'll tell people all the time, I'm like, bro, you can't be stuck in no 9 to 5. It's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but it's like, it's what you're doing with the 9 to 5. You shouldn't be working a 9 to 5 to take care of your life for the rest of your life. Like,
Right. I'll let you go ahead first on that.
It's 100% correct. I think what a lot of people do, they fall in love with sense of security. You got these 9 to 5 jobs, you know what I'm saying? You got a consistent paycheck coming in every 2 weeks. And you just think, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to make the best with what I'm getting. Whatever they going to pay me at the job, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to get. But then what happens, you know what I'm saying, if you fall ill, just like he said, what happens if you fall ill, if you do something else, you get into a car wreck, God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Have health issues, whatever the case may be. What happens? Because, you know what I'm saying, they're not going to let that job go undone for a long extended period of time. They may wait a couple of days, but they're not going to wait a couple of weeks. They're going to eventually get somebody else in there. What if they're a better rock star than you are at your job? Guess what happens? They can't legally fire you because you're sick. But when you come back, they're going to come up with every single reason why they're going to eventually get rid of you. So when you got this 9 to 5, you can't be complacent. Why not use that time or that extra time to actually start you a side gig? Whatever it is that you love, whatever it is that you love to do. You may not have enough guts to say, man, look, I'm quitting my 9 to 5. I'm going full time doing whatever, making bracelets or whatever the hell you want to make. During COVID, there was so many success stories about people that was just like, look, we couldn't go to work, so I had to do something. So I went out and started my business. Or I already had a part-time business going. Once they laid me off or furloughed me or whatever the case may be, we couldn't operate. I just went full throttle on my business. And now I'm a millionaire. Now I'm making all this money or whatever the case may be. But if COVID never happened, you know what I'm saying, they would have never had the guts to do it. If you're not forced, it's unfortunate, but you know what I'm saying, for some people, if you're not forced out there to actually get on your grind and do something different besides just being comfortable with a consistent paycheck, you'll never see success.
Right.
You'll never see financial freedom. You'll never see wealth, period. So I 100% agree with everything that he's saying. I think anytime you get a 9 to 5, it is the short-term goal, not the long-term goal, for sure.
Right. Well, I think we so caught up in what we see on TV. We got caught up in, what worked, 50, 60 years ago. And, what we have in our head is not really what the reality is anymore. And so, us as a people, so like that worked for grandpa. That, not really even my grandfather, because my grandfather actually worked 2 jobs. He worked at the plant Monday through Friday, then he worked at the bowling alley on the weekends. And he cut lawns on the side. So actually back then in the 60s and 70s, he had, 2 jobs and a hustle. So even back then, so I know now with this massive inflation, it's like you need 3 or 4 things going at one point. You need a real estate portfolio, you need a 9 to 5, you need a job, and you need an online job where so it just is what it is. So I think we see that on TV. We see the Cleavers and and the Huxtables, and we think that's reality. I mean, if you got if you got 2, it depends. If you're a lawyer and a doctor, your wife a doctor and you're a lawyer, then you might live on that 9 to 5. But if you both making $50,000 a year, it might be tough to raise a family of 2 or 3.
Especially these days.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So we got to kind of snap out that dream. And what happens is, it's almost like we take these jobs and we want to wear the tenure as a badge of honor. I've been there for 10 years, and I don't get that. I never did get that. Like, all right, well, how much money you got in the bank? Are you still paycheck to paycheck? Are you paycheck to every other paycheck? So I've always said you got to learn and earn. I said this before. Get into whatever field that you want. Get a 9 to 5 and then soak up game.
Yes.
Soak up game, learn all the ins and outs, stay in your boss hip pocket and find out everything you need to find out about that job so you in the future become his competition. If he'll let you. But still keep quiet and find out everything you need to find out.
I don't knock these boys' hustle, you know what I'm saying? I done had some projects where I'll have cats from the city come out, you know what I'm saying, and do some gas work or do some plumbing work or whatever the case may be. And they don't have a problem saying, hey, man, you know what I'm saying, I do this on the side too. So, you know what I'm saying, I know you flipping this house. Right. You ever run into an issue, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, and you need somebody to do some work for you, come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind doing it. Right. You can't knock that hustle. That's just smart. Instead of just relying on this 9 to 5 job, there's lots of ways that you can use the knowledge that you're getting on somebody else's dime to make a bunch of money for yourself. So why wouldn't you do it?
Right.
It just only makes sense. But again, you know what I'm saying, people become complacent and they just like, man, look, as long as I'm getting this paycheck, I'm good. But to go back to what you're saying, you know what I'm saying, in these days here, it's so many baby boomers that are either one, living off Social Security, which is not even enough to actually pay rent for you to live somewhere, or, you know what I'm saying, you're constantly asking your kids for money. So I think, you know what I'm saying, living the 9 to 5 or trying to have a tenure at a job for 10 plus years or 15 plus years or whatever the case may be, there's no longer a badge of honor for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you take a look at the people that came before us, history has a point of repeating itself. If you do the same thing your grandpa and grandma did back in the days, you're going to end up in the same position that they are now. And the last thing we want to become when we become older is become a burden on our kids. So now, while you have the ability to do it, especially now more than our grandpa and grandma had back then, we have an opportunity to start a part-time job. We have an opportunity to do something else, especially with the way technology is. Start an online business, whatever it is. If you knitting sweaters or whatever the case may be, you can open up a shop online in 10 minutes and start selling that stuff online.
Yep.
So, you know what I'm saying, it's no longer, you know what I'm saying, 15 to 20 years, you know what I'm saying, is the secret recipe in order to have success when you get older.
Right.
That's long gone.
Well, I know the Zillennials are definitely waking up from that. It's like that they can't sell them that dream. I think it's our generation of the Gen X and the earlier millennials are kind of getting caught up in that still because we learned from the boomers and that's what we were taught. That's the way to go, man. Get you a good job, get you a good old lady, and that's it. There's this, get you a good education, get you a good job, get you a good old lady. That what was drilled into me. So
that's
like
what they preach.
That's what they preach the whole time. Before I get to this, let's read these clips. TJ, what's going on? TJ says it's true that real estate owners say that most real estate agents are part-time. That is very true. There's very, very few agents that actually make money at real estate. It's only the top like 7%. It's like 7% make the money for all the rest of the 93%. So really only a few people make money at this, rest of them. But I think those part-timers, they're not even trying to actually be the top. They just want like vacation money. It's like, all right, I think they're not even trying. I think if they could do 1 or 2 deals a year and they get an extra $10,000, $15,000, I think they're cool with that.
I think a lot of agents, you know what I'm saying, is cool with
Yeah.
that, but a lot of agents are not. A lot of agents just don't know how to get it going or don't have the resources and the hustle
Right.
to actually get it going.
Right.
You got to think, you know what I'm saying, there's 20-some thousand realtors in Houston alone. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
then when you
35,
talk
I think.
about
35,000.
35,000, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, 35,000. If you're talking about 7% of those actually do deals on a consistent monthly basis,
Right.
like do the numbers on that.
Right.
A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, just got in because, man, I just bought my house and I saw my agent made $10,000, $15,000 on my deal.
Yeah.
Man, if I could just do one of those a
Right.
year, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm jumping into real estate. I'm paying the $3,000 it takes, you know what I'm saying, to get licensed or whatever the case may be. I'm going to end up with a brokerage where I got to pay this monthly fee or whatever the case may be just to try to make it work. And a lot of them don't have the hustle or the personality to actually make the business work. So they end up spending a bunch of money at the end of the day.
Right. Well, I think most of them is like this. They work, part-time job or a full-time job actually, where they, making $45,000, $55,000, $60,000 a year. And, they work 40 hours a week and then they try to do this part-time and then try to get the same yield when they wind up making the extra, 2 to 3 a year. And that's fine with them. That's enough to pay for they fees and everything like that. And enough to, to go on vacation, to go to, St. Lucia's for a weekend, or go on a carnival cruise. So and they cool with that, and that's most of them are underachievers. Also, TJ says baby boomers are working at Walmart. Those jobs for young people, not old people. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you are some of the choices that you make through your life. A lot of people don't plan, and we got this bad in our community. We have arrested development bad where we don't plan for the future. We live for the moment. And most people don't, it's sad to say, I guarantee you most people haven't heard of Roth IRA and what's the difference, between a Roth and a regular IRA and like what's the benefits and the tax. But most people just kind of think they're going to hustle their way out or something's going to happen or something's going to drop down and, they just kind of wing it. Just like with family planning, they don't family plan. That's another thing that burns our community. We don't family plan. It's just kind of, all right, boy meets girl, and then, here we go. They don't plan generations like planning and strategy and research, and that's the best approach, not just winging it and let's see what happens.
I think the biggest thing that plagues our community, you know what I'm saying, is creatures of habit, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. If mom and dad rented all their life, it never pops into my mind that I can actually own a house or want to even have any desire to own a house. Mm-hmm. If grandma and grandpa didn't own their own house, they always rented, jumping from house to house. That's what I know. That's all I really want. My ceiling is no higher than what I have around me in my environment. Nobody in my family went to college. Therefore, you know what I'm saying, there's no desire for me to go to college. I think we fall into that same plague, you know what I'm saying, which is unfortunate, especially now when self-education is so easily accessible. Like, you know what I'm saying, you can watch YouTube videos. You can easily download books on your actual iPad, on your phone, whatever the case may be. And you can actually educate yourself to understand there's a better life out there. There's better strategies out there in order for you to set yourself up for the future. You don't necessarily have to let your family or your environment be your ceiling.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying, there's so many opportunities out there. But, you know what I'm saying, there's just so many of us that just kind of, hey, man, you know what I'm saying, look, they wearing Gucci. I got to be able to wear Gucci to the club. I got to be able to wear Prada to the club, even though it's from the flea market. You know what I'm saying? It says Prada on it. So, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go stunt on them at the club or whatever the case may be. There's no desire to want to do more or get more, which is very unfortunate. But one of these days it'll change.
Do you think it's the delayed gratification effect? Do you think that in our community that we don't know how to delay gratification? Like we want instant gratification even though we didn't earn it. So
I think about 80% of that is the case.
Right. So
I really think 80% of the case.
we'll wear Prada, even though it's from the flea market, but we want people to think we got money instead of actually having money.
Correct.
You know, we want to do what we got to do to get that Benz, even though we leasing that Benz, or we put our last dime and we got mama to co-sign for it, but I want to get that Benz, even though I got the money for it. I'm a finance, I'm borrowing the money just so my people could think I'm rich. I'm gonna be house poor. I'll get house poor and mortgage my last dime for my sister and them to think I got it like that. You know,
we are in a day and age where, you know what I'm saying, what it looks like is more important than what it actually is, right? You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to wear these gold chains and all this other stuff that I spent money on. I want to be able to floss on social media. So my peers actually think I'm balling. My peers think I got bread. My peers think I'm doing well. Because we're all worried about what somebody else thinks.
Somebody else said, yep.
It's never the concept of, okay, well, what is my actual situation?
Right.
Oh, you went out and got a BMW? Well, I'm cool with this Toyota. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't never think about that. It's all instant gratification. To go back to your question, you know what I'm saying? It's because we want it now. We want the perception of success now, and we want the perception that we're doing much better than you are right now. Like, I don't want to have to wait. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to grind. And people ask me, you know what I'm saying, why I'm wearing Shaqs instead of Nikes, you know what I'm saying? But they don't know I own my own home. Like, you still renting, jumping from house to house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cool for me to say, oh, okay, well, I'm wearing these Shaqs, but I got my own house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cool. It's not cool for social media. It's not cool for your peers. But at the end of the day, until we get over that perception of what other people think, we'll never be able to get out of our own way and actually become wealthy.
Well, I mean, that's part of it as well. Like I said, we live it for other people. And then the main part of it is that I think it's a cultural thing. I think it's a cultural thing where our culture likes to cut corners. I give you an example. I was watching something the other day about BBLs, how a BBL is the most dangerous surgery that you could ever do because there's so many nerve endings, so many blood, you know what I'm saying, veins and all that stuff. Yet that's one of the most popular surgeries because instead of working out and actually, you know, doing the actual squats and all that, they rather cut the corner.
I want it right now.
You know, and
I don't want to have to work for 6 months to get it. I want it right now.
And then the sickness is even more sick because now instead of getting it where I could get a top-notch surgeon, I'm gonna go ahead and go to old girl in the back that's putting fix-a-flat in my booty.
Yeah.
For $1,000. You know, and they actually putting the cement and silicone straight in there, and you can't even wait till you get the money to do the risky surgery. You doing the bootleg, the botch, the bang surgery.
Correct. Possibly end up in a hospital because of it.
Oh, man, people are dying. I was watching this documentary on people like kicking the bucket.
Yep.
You know,
but it's worth the risk just because of what somebody else thinks.
I think a couple of celebrities didn't. Kanye mama, DC Young Fly old lady, a couple of people just passed away messing with these surgeries. You know, so people die.
Here's the thing that trips me out. You talk to people that want to purchase a house, you know what I'm saying? They can't rub two nickels together to save $10,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yet, if you tell them, man, you can go to Mexico and get a BBL for $10,000 instead of going to Mr. Miami and paying $20, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna get that $10,000 in a month or two.
Right.
They're gonna do whatever they can to go just be able to go overseas and get that BBL. That BBL has nothing to do with increasing the wealth in their life. But somehow or another, you know what I'm saying, they got more determination to raise that money versus raising that money towards something that can make them or their heirs wealthy.
Right.
It's crazy.
And they looked at it like, I think what they're looking at is the sickness gets deeper. This is another thing. I don't want to make this about this BBL, but the sickness get deeper because most men say they don't like BBLs. So what are you doing this for? It's for other females.
Yeah.
You know, since what somebody else gonna say. So
I want to be able to wear this tight dress and have that girl look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like she bad.
So like it's definitely a sickness, man. It's definitely a sickness, but it goes to the rebellious type nature, like of that's underlying in our culture. Like we rebel against what's right. Let me read this about TJ. TJ said that's crazy. We're in the information age. AI is here. People don't know what an IRA is. Just imagine what 2030s will be like. Yeah, I mean, I've seen an increasing decline in especially the mental the mental capacity of people, and there's the moral decay of society. Like, you know, I've seen it like within my lifetime. I've seen the decay. You know, and I think once you have the moral decay, I think everything else falls by the wayside. I think you have to have some type of spiritual hierarchy or some kind of morality in place in order to keep society in due bounds. That's just my 2 cents on it. If you have where it's okay for dudes to play women's sports and dunk on them, and you don't know what a woman is and all this stuff like that, I think it's the beginning of the end. You know.
The one thing I would take it to is, you know what I'm saying, with this whole AI and everything, you know what I'm saying, is that it's definitely making people more lazy than people are already getting. Because now a whole bunch of tasks, like even for mortgages, you know what I'm saying, now they got all these different tools and all this other stuff to say that AI would do it for you. AI got text message. They'll send a text message blast and they'll have a whole conversation with somebody. And you don't even have to have the conversation.
Right.
It's good in some respects, but you know what I'm saying, in some respects it takes the personal touch out of things. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then it makes people more lazy. So now, you know what I'm saying, instead of doing it myself, man, I'd rather just have something else do it for me. And that's what I think, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about the moral decay is coming in at. Because now, you know what I'm saying, you're not necessarily worried about the client. You're just worried about getting something else to occupy them until they're actually ready, or getting something else to occupy them until they actually, you know what I'm saying, you know, to the point where you could actually step in and, you know, the meat, you know, the deer's already shot, it's already processed, it's already killed. All you really got to do is just cook it and eat it.
Right. Well, I think what's happening is that more people are trying to, as you get more and more with social media, you get more. We used to call back in the days, my grandmother used to call big eye. So as you see the Joneses doing more, they're doing all these trips, doing these yacht parties. It's the more you want to do, and the more you want to do, the more money you need. And like we're talking about, the priorities get switched. So instead of doing stuff that I need to do, is more just doing the stuff that I want to do just to keep up with the Joneses. You know. And now, I mean, I remember this in my lifetime. You could take a girl to, you know, a simple movie and a dinner. Now it has to be like a trip, and you know, we got to go to some kind of, you know, a yacht party, or all white house party, exclusive, buy a table, and all this. You know, it's just in. You got to put a second mortgage on your house. Damn near.
It becomes so extravagant.
It's just getting outrageous. Like, it used to be simple, you know. A flower. Remember those days? Those cartoons used to have a box of chocolates and a flower.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you better have a washer and dryer with that, you know, and the keys to the car.
It ain't enough these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, flowers don't have the same effect that it did back. It used to be about, you know what I'm saying, the thought is the process.
Right.
The thought is the thought is what counts. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now it's just like, look, I need to feel like I'm way important. I need to feel like, you know what I'm saying, I need to be skipping the VIP line at the club. You know what I'm saying? Right. I need you to take me out to Morton's, or, you know what I'm saying, or Ward's, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need you to spend that bread. I need you to spend that bread to show that you love me. The flowers is cool, but what else you gonna do? That ain't enough.
Right. So
I'm just changing, man.
Social media, man, is like, the more, you know, the more we see, the more, you know, you want to outdo them, and it's more for other people, not really for you. TJ said, let's get to the old saying, people buy what they want and beg for what they need. I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely, especially with these handouts they're trying. We're gonna get to that in a second here. He said, I watched Elon Musk's new robot cars, Tesla candidate. Man, technology moves so fast, and people are stuck in celebrity gossip. I mean, Don said it back in the 90s, man. We playing PlayStation, they building space stations. So he said that back in the 90s, man. Like we are, stuck on bread and circus. So we watch the NFL, we stuck on celebrity gossip, we stuck on who messing with who, and other people have inquisitive minds and actually making money and out competing us. And I was gonna do a show, but I thought it was too silly. Like everybody want to go viral now. It's like who could be more outrageous than the other person now? That's what's going on. And and they open that floodgate to monetize stupidity.
It's all about the age of attention.
Right. So
what can I do to get the attention?
Right. So it's the ugliest, the weirdest, the one leg, one hand, that no neck. Whatever get the eyeballs, that's what people are paying attention to.
That's what people pay attention. Hey, look, they got cats dressing up in Mario Brothers suits, dancing in the middle of the street in front of cars now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got this other cat pouring flour on his head in the middle of Walmart, yelling at the top of his lungs. Probably getting arrested just for attention. Like all these people just want to get attention. Like, and when you monetize, when you incentivize this type of stuff, that's what happens. If you can make a bag and you see people making a bag, like no, people don't want to be rappers no more. People want to just go viral.
Correct. I just want to be a social media influencer. I just want to find out some crazy ass videos. I just want to, do something crazy so I can go viral. So people can be like, look at this.
You seen this other chick that just eat food? She dip everything in hot Cheetos. Oh man, I'm gonna have to play.
I ain't seen that one.
Yeah, this is.
I seen one video where I'm saying the girl was sitting there. It was a food review, and when I tell you the smacking was getting on my damn nerves so bad, like I couldn't even take it.
Right.
But I'm saying, yes, she had like 500,000 followers. I'm like, people actually watch this shit.
People watch this to us, bro. Like
this is it's grossing me out to watch this girl eat, but people are watching it.
Right. It's crazy, bro. Like it's the opposite. It's the moral decay. It's the moral decay in society. And they rewarding BS. Let's run.
I have no dignity.
Yeah, let's run this next clip because I want to get to something serious here in a second.
Years old. I closed my first few wholesale deals for a profit of $60,000. I was only 3 months into the game when this happened, and I literally sounded like I was still in high school while I was on the phone. I'm telling you guys, you can make this happen even if you're younger or even if you don't have any experience with sales or real estate. If my squeaky ass voice can close deals like that, I know you can too. And that's why I just put together a free video for you breaking down exactly how I was able to do it. Everything from how I got the lead, the exact cold call script I used, everything leading up to the point of getting it under contract. Just comment the word deal down below and I'll send it over to you. At night.
So everybody here is real estate gurus now. I'll let you go in on that one first.
Man, everybody got a course to sell. Everybody capping their ass off, you know what I'm saying? Which is the annoying part to me. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, and they keep getting younger and younger, you know what I'm saying? I'm 17 years old. I just wholesale 10 deals for $1 million. Like, come on, man. Right. Like enough is enough. And it always leads to I got a course to sell. Or get online for my free webinar that leads to the big ass $1,000 or $5,000 course that I'm trying to sell. Man, I'm so sick of these videos. I'm not gonna knock the hustle, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, if you get you a couple of customers out of it that's idiotic enough, you know what I'm saying, to pay the money for, whatever the case may be, God's bees. But you know what I'm saying, like this part gets a little bit annoying for me because now it's just getting outlandish. Right. It used to be, you know what I'm saying, where they have to sell, they have to actually show receipts. Which, actually now, you know what I'm saying, if they do show receipts, hell, you don't know if they fabricated or not in this day and age. But I think it's capped myself, you know what I'm saying? He's just trying to sell something. Hey, look, sales is about getting eyeballs, getting people in there. That's what he's doing. So even though I hate it, I love it at the same time.
Right. I mean, I was trying to find that video. I can't find it, but this is a comment on what he's doing. I think anybody could luck up. It's the consistency. I'm not impressed with doing one deal. Anybody can run into one deal. especially if you some people just give you the benefit of the doubt, but it's consistency. They say success is doing above average for an extended period of time. That's what success is. Putting it together down consistent. Hold on a second. Let me
what you got?
Queuing up this next one. Hold on a second.
Just to follow up on that one.
Now this is the one I wanted to get to. We gotta address it. We got about 5-10 minutes left, man. I got this Anton. I'm not gonna play this whole Anton thing, but we gotta address we couldn't be representing our culture if we don't address the hot topic, which is this Obama thing that's all throughout the news. Let me read TJ's last comment. The Jim Morrison was the last guru that I fell for 2020 with my money. These new dudes are nowhere I'm falling for it. I mean, yeah. I hate that they did that where
you ain't the only one.
Yeah, I hate that they did that.
There's a whole bunch of them.
But this is the thing. Let me tell you this, TJ. CJ and I had an open house. Was about a month ago, and I was one of the judges there. Was down here locally in Houston. I ain't gonna say his name, but he told me some real stuff. We were talking, behind the scenes. He's a Democrat, but he was telling me how it goes. He was like, yeah, like who supports my campaign is the alphabet boys, the LBG, and the white folks. It's like, when it comes to the black folks, they don't support. So when I go to pass, anything, I gotta look out for the people that help my campaign. So it's like we need to start putting our money on stuff that really gonna see a return. Like instead of trying to chase these shiny objects, we need to put our money into campaigns, politicians, and stuff like that, and really get local legislations changed to kind of stay out our way, and then we could make our own moves. But I think we get caught in these these evangelist type people, these ghetto evangelists. And we want to kind of, buy these magic beans, and really everybody else putting their money into politicians and passing legislation that's going to swing their way and stay out of their way, cut that red tape, and that's how you play the real game, So, but you can't be scared with your money though.
Can't be scared with your money. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to go for what you
smart with your money.
Go for what you know. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I'm saying, you want to be educated for sure. But then, you know what I'm saying, you want to be able to not just talk about it, be about it. Right. People actually respect action, not necessarily just talk. Anybody talk. Man, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, whatever case may be. Okay, cool. It's different just talking, you know what I'm saying, versus somebody actually saying, man, he really doing it. He said he's going to do it. He truly doing it. Right. When it comes to black people, you know what I'm saying, or our culture, as we put it, I do think, you know what I'm saying, we show up and we do support in droves, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's selective to when we show up and support and when we actually don't.
Money-wise?
I don't necessarily know. Money-wise. I don't necessarily know the recipe for, you know what I'm saying, like kind of like what needs to happen in order for us to show up and show out. But I do know we can. Once we put our mind to something and we put enough supporters behind it, black people will show up monetarily and make something successful for sure.
Besides Jordans, what have we showed up and showed out for that we really got something going? Besides Obama first term and Jordans.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying, you could talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? You talk about Kanye West had a long run there for a second. Kanye West was holding a church in the middle of a 10-acre field or something like that.
When I say that, I'm talking about entertainment.
That's what I'm talking about. Entertainment.
Right.
You're talking about not entertainment, or you're talking about entertainment?
Non-entertainment. Like, what have we showed up and like put our money behind as a collective and showed out for besides like clothes and entertainment?
I think when Obama came up to go into office,
Besides
he showed
Obama
up in
first
droves.
term. Yeah, besides Obama first term.
The second term too. He wouldn't have been elected if we wouldn't have showed up for second term.
I got that, but what else?
Outside of entertainment, I mean, if we're talking about apparel, I mean, you could talk about apparel all day long. We showed up for
Not
FUBU.
apparel.
FUBU came in, and did
No,
their thing.
not
Showed up in that.
not gear and not entertainment. What have we showed up for?
Non-gear, non-entertainment. So then what industries are we talking about? What industries are allowed?
Anything, anything besides Obama first term, gear and entertainment.
Obama first term, gear and entertainment. Okay, what about
first and second term?
Can you put restaurants in this? Can you put restaurants in this? I mean, you keep knocking everything out. Like, what industries are we talking? Just give me an industry that we can actually talk about.
TJ got one right. This was back in my day, the Million Man March. We showed up for that. That was
absolutely.
Yeah. So, but did we put our money behind it?
Million Man March is a good one, huh?
Did we put the money behind it?
We had to put in money behind it. How do you get a rally like that going? Not have money behind it.
I wonder if he collected. Did the Nation of Islam make $1 million over that? I wonder if they got $1 a person, $1 a head out of everybody.
It's the same thing though. Like anything that you name, even for different cultures, any other cultures or whatever the case may be, there was some kind of monetary gain from it.
Right.
So support it. So you can't necessarily strip away everything that goes on both sides. You can't just try to make a point, B. So they made money monetarily. Okay, so let's say for example.
Well, I know the hotels and the gas stations and everything made money, but did we make money? And then if they did collect $1 million, what did they do? What did they do with it to improve the community?
I mean, what are we trying to do? An audit as far as where the dollars go? But I mean, are we doing an audit all the way around to say, where the money went? How about this? How about this? When Trump got elected in office, where did that money go?
Trump got. I'm not following you how this got to do anything with the conversation.
It has everything to do with the conversation because you talking about trying to do a financial audit. If the Million Man March made $1 million, if they made $1 million during that March, now you're trying to audit where that $1 million went to. Well, why aren't we trying to audit everybody's finances?
Well,
why is it just on the black support? Are we trying to audit where the money went to?
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
I was trying to see the legitimacy of you gave your suggestion, the Million Man March, you drew your life preserver, right? And the actual original question was monetarily, what did we show up and show out for? Besides for apparel, entertainment, and Obama's first and second term. So I'm talking out loud to say, damn, all right, so Million Man March, we showed up numbers wise, but did we show up monetarily? So I was like, I wonder. And I said, I wonder if the Nation of Islam did collect $1 a head or did collect at least $1 million off of that march. And then if so, what did they do with the money? So it's questionable if we showed up monetarily for that time. And don't forget that was 30 years ago. So but so that mainly the Million Man March, we showed up in numbers, but did we show up with our pocketbook? That's the question.
Yes, we had to. Okay, so the question is, yes, we had to show up with our pocketbook.
How?
Because one is to increase the economy. It's the same reason that you have a Super Bowl, inside a city, because increase the economy. It's the same reason people are paying a lots of money for Deion Sanders to bring the actual black support, to different cities, because when you sell out arenas, when you're on TV, it all brings monetary value.
Well, I know it brings monetary value for Washington, D.C., which is not really, we have a lot of renters there, but we don't have a lot of home ownership. Now we have more home ownership in Maryland than we do in D.C.
So let me ask you this, so to get to the point where you're getting to, you're saying, there's more support in other cultures than it is. So where is that money going to? What is that money support?
Well, my point is the original
True.
premise. Let's go back to the original premise.
Okay.
I talked to the judge, and he said that that who supports his campaign is the Alphabet Boys and other nationalities. It's like when he goes to approach us, we got 1,000,001 excuses. So when it comes down to do anything as far as for us is on the plate, just like the donations to his campaign's on the back burner, your community's on the back burner. So, and I take that as saying that I would say most politicians have the same mind frame. It's like they're gonna look out for their constituents, and when I mean constituents, I mean people that actually look out for them in their campaign. And we don't really believe in that. We really believe in just begging for it, and then complaining about it. It's like, all right, well, as a group, as a block, how many politicians we putting our money behind and forcing them to actually do our bidding. That's how the LGBTQ got power. They pulled their money together, and they lobbied these politicians, and they got this legislation passed. Now they're one of the most powerful voting blocks within a matter of a few years, not even a generation or two. So, but we'll draw money on other stuff. You know what I mean? That's my point of the questioning. They said they got $1.2 million in donation at the Main Man Mall. So if that's the case, my question is, what did they do with it? Did it go to strictly the Farrakhan pocket? What did they do with it? You know what I mean?
So here we go again, trying to audit. But you know what I'm saying, when you use
Right.
the example of the judge and he's getting this money, what is the judge doing with the money?
He going probably in his pocket, but when it comes time to ask for something, he said out his mouth. He said out his mouth that I'm gonna look out for the people that went into their pocketbook for me. So that's why I heard this with my own ears.
But isn't that for any politician, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
In order to get something passed or in order to get something done, I think there is a barter system where, you know what I'm saying, you have to give up one thing or another.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily boil down to just one source or one culture of support.
Well, that's the point. He said, again, this is a brother that looked like you and me. He said when he goes to ask us, we have 1,000,001 excuses. So they don't never support, but they want to beg for some shit. And this don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. It's like, they pool their money together and they get the people that they want in office. And then once the people are in office, that's your representative. They're gonna pass legislation that actually, benefit you. That's the name of the game.
I don't necessarily see the difference, but okay. If that's what you want to run with. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not going to take the stake and the reputation of a whole political environment and then just kind of boil that down to what one judge is saying.
Well, no, you just admitted a couple of minutes ago that most politicians, right?
Most politicians what?
Most politicians have probably the same mind frame. You just
That's
said
correct.
That. Right.
That's correct. Because, you know what I'm saying, if I take support from somebody, obviously, you know what I'm saying, I want to hear what they say. And, if they're going to bring me supporters, I'm willing to give up something, you know what I'm saying, especially if it aligns with what I'm thinking or what I'm saying.
Right. So, yeah, that's what you just admitted. So it ain't like it's a one-off. I would say that's the majority of how it goes. Like, it's like they throw their support. They throw who they're going to really do things for behind who is driving their campaign.
Right. But I don't understand what that got to do with culture. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can be black, white, green, yellow, whatever case may be. If you support me, I'm supporting you.
Well, the culture as a block, this is the whole, don't forget the whole premise. As a block, this is straight from that one politician. But I'm in the community, so I know, like, as a block, we don't support. You might have one person here, one person there, but when it comes to, all right, we're gonna all get together, we're gonna throw out support. Here goes the money for this. Boom. But hey, we don't do that like other nationalities. Other communities.
We just gave you multiple examples where we do.
You gave you what
We
example?
gave you multiple examples where we do, and then you essentially cut off every single example to try to prove a point.
What
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't
example
understand.
you
You know what
gave
I'm saying?
me?
When you talk about clothes, right? You know what I'm saying?
No.
It doesn't apply the same to Coachy Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Like you will allow that. But when you talk about FUBU or what, you know what I'm saying, Kanye West got, no. That don't count. We can't count clothing. Like it just doesn't make sense. It has to be the same across the board.
Well, the
We
difference
come out and
is
support monetarily. You know what I'm saying? We come out and support monetarily. To say the black culture doesn't come out and support as a generic statement is completely false.
show me the evidence otherwise.
Just showed you the evidence, B. That's what I'm talking about. We just showed you, and
You
then
talk about
you're completely saying no, that don't count. No, that don't count. No, that
so
don't count.
so us
No, that don't
supporting
count.
Gucci. So hold on, let me get this straight. So us supporting Gucci and Prada is the same as supporting legislation, politicians that
What you're
grant
saying,
legislation.
okay.
That's what
So
you're saying.
let me use the same. Let me go down to the same example that you're going to. Right, you're talking about the judge, one politician that says that, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, that culture doesn't support me, so I'm going to go with who supports me. Right.
Well, stop
What
right
does
there.
that have to do?
Stop right
Go ahead.
there. Did you or did you not say that that's not only him? That's probably most politicians.
That is true.
All right, so you cut out
That
the
is
one
facts.
judge thing. You cut out the
So
one
then
judge.
when you talk about that, what about the black people that came out and supported Obama for 2 terms? But you're saying no, that's not the same. No. No, that's not the same. We can't use that example. So why
All
can't
right,
we use
so
that example if
your
we're talking
only
about
example.
politicians?
All right, so let's nip this in the bud.
All
So
right.
your examples is Obama first and second term and the Million Man March. That's your examples. That's the only examples.
Okay. That's not the only examples. That's the only examples we can think of right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you have yet to give an example besides one judge's opinion, biased opinion at that.
Well,
But you know what I'm saying? Okay,
you your own
we can
self
roll with that.
admitted. Yeah, you your own self admitted that it's not just him. Would it be safe to say that's most politicians? And you said yes.
Right, but you're saying that it's not the same though. But you can't tell me why it's not the same.
Because it's apples and oranges.
Okay,
You support,
explain to me why it's apples and oranges.
because if you support something that's once for historic, once in a lifetime type thing, and it's not consistent, where's the consistent examples? That's one-offs. That's more of an anomaly than the norm. So we talking about when I want you to give me examples, I want you to give me examples on the norm. What do we normally come out and support as far as blocks monetarily? And you really can't give it now. You give me something 30 years ago and something 15 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's anomalies. That's not really the norm.
It's not the norm?
No.
What makes it not the norm?
Because it doesn't happen often.
So the president has to go up for election more often? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, we're talking about our community coming out monetarily in blocks to put our money behind something. That doesn't include fashion and entertainment.
Okay. So then what I'm trying to say is, you know what I'm saying, is that what are we comparing this to? Like, you know what I'm saying, if you're completely taking clothing, you're taking entertainment, you're taking apparel or whatever the case may be out of it.
And
What
the
are we
reason why I'm
comparing?
taking that
Are we
out
comparing?
because
Are we comparing it to where they raided the Washington D.C. and they got together and they raided and put people's lives in jeopardy? Are that what we talking about? What we comparing it to?
raided? What you mean? I'm not sure what you're talking about raided. What you talking about?
When they raided the Washington D.C.
What are you talking
and
about?
took
Raided?
people houses, like, you know what I'm saying, the actual White House, where they actually raided it during Trump's administration. You don't hear about that, huh? Didn't hear about that?
No, you talking about January 6th? What they? I'm not. We talking about black folks.
No, what we're talking about is equality. So you know what I'm saying? What you're saying is that you're setting the standard for one culture, but you're not setting the standard for another. So what I'm asking you for is an example, an example. So if we got to take everything out, cut everything out that black people ever
not
support, whatever
everything.
case may be.
Just
What are we
entertainment.
comparing it to? What
Well,
are we comparing it to? So
compare-
just name one thing. Just name one thing that another culture besides black has showed up and supported to what you're trying to make a point for. Just one event.
I can name several. Like, all right, so let's go.
Just name one.
Let's go with
And
the
then we
alphabet.
said
Let's go
you
with
can
the
set the
alphabet
president
boys.
on there.
Let's go with the alphabet boys. You know that the guy that you went to support, they lobbied him and they got him to change his mind on same-sex marriage. That was one. Now they got to the point is less than 10 years later. Now they're getting into sports. And they want to make it to where you can't define what a woman is anymore. They also have these propaganda books in our school that has as far as pumping homosexuality to kids, and this is all over the internet as well. They have these in kids' libraries. So they have propaganda books in our schools now. And the big one that's on the platform right now, the Democratic nominee supports prisoners having sex change operations, and the taxpayers pay for it. It's another thing that they lobbied and came together. So this is on the platform right now. They saying this is probably the sleeper. These are one of the two sleeper things that might change the outcome of the election. So they support shit in droves that they want to get passed, and they got it to the forefront.
Okay. So then now, go ahead.
We still one of the biggest things, like TJ said, he's right though. Look at reparations issue. Yeah, we beg about it, but when have we got our money together and say, look, we want this on the forefront. We want reparations. Here's all the money. We got all these. We paid the people we need to pay. We want reparations on the forefront. We've been talking about it for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Mm-hmm. When do we put the money behind it to actually get it passed? And that's why they're going to keep kicking it to the curb, because hey, why would I do that? And y'all ain't put no money in my pocket. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I'm saying we already know the reparations part is a mute topic. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's getting in office to be able to get that passed. Just I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's the reality of the situation, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you can talk about it till you blue in the face. But now, in going back to it, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of keep this thing on topic, when you bring those examples up, how is it monetarily, you know what I'm saying, how is it monetarily benefiting anybody? The fact that now, you know what I'm saying, they're changing their views on sex changes, how is that monetarily, how's anybody monetarily gaining from that?
Well, once you get the actual power, as a voting block, now you get all of the money. Now you got strictly LGBT days, you got months, you got holidays and stuff like that. You got where they got actual communities now where you got discounts if you're in a certain community. So now once you define what you got as a block, you got people that's going to cater and bend towards you. I give you an example. Look at, this is a new phenomenon that just within the last couple of years, they got, and Yelp and all these other places, they got LGBTQ friendly. And in order to get in this, you got to pay certain to get in this particular group. So and to say I'm LGBTQ friendly in order to attract this business. So that's how they monetarily gain. They gain in power right before our eyes. Not saying I have anything against them, but I'm just saying I'm using them as an example how they pulled their money together, and now they're going to where you got to respect their mind.
Okay.
So they blew past us, as a community. We had one of the original struggles, and monetarily we kind of fell off. We want to beg, we want to beg about it, and that's not It's not how you get things done. If you anything, I could admire how they went and got their money together, and they got legislations to where they are real on that. They are real block that you got to respect their mind. TJ said basically he's saying we support things that doesn't matter more than the things that does matter, like clothes and shoes, but not politics and other important things that matter. That's basically in a nutshell what I'm saying. Like we'll spend money on that bullshit, but we'll spend money on the real shit.
Okay, so then what about when you bring up the topic of police brutality, right? You know what I'm saying? We made so much noise in that they had to change different policies. Where you know what I'm saying you can't put people in a chokehold. They're wearing body cameras now. Police officers are being prosecuted for shooting unarmed black people. You know what I'm saying? What about that? I guess that doesn't count either.
Not really. I mean,
I figured.
yeah, not really because
I figured that don't count.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It's the same. When you talk about getting things passed, you just use the
Did
example
they really get it
of the LGBTQ community, right? They're getting things passed. They're getting laws passed. They're getting protection. They're getting more protection. They've been added. They've been added, in a whole bunch of different things. But when you boil down to it, you know what I'm saying, and you start talking about police brutality, we're much better off and more protected now. Even though it still happens, we're more protected now than we was 10 or 15 years ago. And that you can't deny that. Like it's obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did body cams come from?
That's debatable.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They just magically decided, man, you know what I'm saying? Look, we just gonna stop taking the word of the police officers and put body cam on all of them. It's now an actual law and rule where you actually have to turn your body cam on anytime you come in contact with a person and have an interaction with somebody else. Like none of that stuff happened because of
I think you're
getting together and making noise.
You're trying to get credit for something that had nothing to do with us. If this was
then what it had to do with? What did that have to do with?
That is not race specific.
Then what is it specific to?
That's just specific to actually police corruption. It has nothing to do with like we got together and passed that particular legislation.
Have we not been fighting police corruption?
Then let's keep it on. Let's keep it all the way funky. We only 12 to 14% of the population. I think more white people get roughed up by the police than we do if you're talking sheer numbers. So it's not we're not the only ones that get we don't have exclusivity on getting roughed up by the police.
So then when the last time you seen the white community get together and march?
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying somebody was treated brutally. Somebody was beaten brutally, or somebody was shot unarmed.
They do it a little bit
last
different.
Time you saw that rally?
Well, that's the point. They don't beg for it. They actually they go and
so
put
if they don't beg for it, then how do they force laws to change?
That's my point. Thank you. That's my point. They don't beg for it. They actually put their money behind and get things changed.
I hear you.
Yeah, they don't.
So it's their money that changed it. It had nothing to do with it. Right. It had nothing to do with the black people making noise. Well, and marching, you know what I'm saying, and talking to politicians and everything about how to better keep police officers honest. Yeah. It had nothing to do with that.
You talking about 2020 I think that had nothing to do with. If you really know what BLM was and who started that and who funded that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But no, that had nothing to do with anything. That was all a whole bunch of distraction, and it had nothing to do with police brutality. So, and it got absolutely nothing accomplished.
Absolutely nothing accomplished. Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of noise, bunch of distraction.
Hey, look, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Conspiracy theorists, and they're gonna find a way to negate everything.
You got to
find a way to negate reality.
Nah, you just got to do a little research. Who funded BLM? Do you know that?
But what does that? I don't understand. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, if they say if you they say if you want to find out the root behind anything, follow the money.
Okay.
Yeah, so follow the money, and then you'll see. I don't want to get into it here, but you'll see where all that come from. Follow who funded that.
So they paid. So they paid to keep police officers honest. I got you.
Nah, I think you get your whole premise off. But let's run this right here.
All right.
Yeah, so let's see. Here we go.
News and give them my thoughts.
Joining me now is Xavier DeRousseau, a former BLM activist, and Anton Daniels, a YouTuber, content creator. Xavier, let's start with you. You say you were personally, after watching them, offended by Obama's comments?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, Obama's not as talented of a liar as he used to be. But quite frankly, my ancestors fought way too hard for me to have the ability to learn how to read, just for Obama to expect me to be so uneducated to think that I would vote for Kamala Harris simply because she claims to be a Black woman. And I mean, if people want to stop having Kamala Harris be called a DEI hire, maybe he should stop trying to remind us of her demographic every 5 minutes. Black men not supporting Kamala has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has everything to do with her lack of accomplishments over the last 1,359 days.
Well, Anton, I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, the shtick is kind of worn thin with Obama, you know. How you doing, Pittsburgh? You know, that whole, it just seems very 2002 or 3. I mean, 2008, I should say. Right? It doesn't quite have the same appeal, as megastar-ish as he is.
You know, it's a Hail Mary pass, considering that we did vote him in based off of identity politics. And I'm not saying that all is bad, because he did do some things that I didn't necessarily disagree with that Trump absolutely did better than him. But at the same time, I felt that it was incredibly disrespectful, because he's making the assumption that we're not educated enough to lead our families, to look at the policies, to understand exactly what's going on with immigration. And we're supposed to overlook everything that they did over the last 3.5 years that was not in our favor. And when I say our, I'm talking about the American people, let alone men, let alone Black men. And we're supposed to vote for her because of some misogynistic reason that's made up. And instead, we've learned how to educate ourselves. And now they've sent their Messiah back to rein us in and bring us back into the Democratic plantation. And most men that I've spoken with have said that it's absolutely disrespectful, and we're done with Obama.
Well, Xavier, again, when he says, "You're lucky Michelle's not here," he does. What is that supposed to mean? I mean, I guess it's supposed to be funny because she'll scold them in a more convincing or scarier fashion. It's kind of treating young Black men as children, almost like you're children, and mommy's coming back and mommy's going to chastise you and you're going to get punished. But you're supposed to vote against your own economic interests to make Michelle and Barack happy in their 4 mansions.
It's absolutely degrading. And Black men are sick of being reduced to being expected to think with our skin color. We have seen how terrible the Obama, Biden, Harris trilogy has been for our country. It has completely demoralized our country. And quite frankly, Obama has no credibility, because this is the same man who heavily endorsed Joe Biden. And we all can feel in our pockets, and we can see it for sure at our border, just how terrible the Biden-Harris administration has been for our country. And Obama admitted himself back in an interview with Steve Colbert that if he could, he would run our country from an earpiece down in the basement. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly what he's doing.
Now, Xavier, Anton, the media are really pushing Obama to be the, rescue agent for Kamala's campaign. Watch this.
Barack Obama, with joy and with humor, is able to sort of get through to an audience that it's not okay to lie. Mm-hmm. It's not okay to sell the presidency. It's not okay to be a narcissist and to have the reins of the presidency.
Anton, so Kamala's joy campaign isn't really working. So Obama's going to come in, and again, you're supposed to make less money in real terms, right, and be happy with it to make Obama and like MSNBC happy? I don't understand this argument.
They took the same blueprint that got Obama elected, and he was a first for us, right? So our grandparents and our parents and things like that wanted to see this happen, but they were largely voting out of ignorance and voluntary ignorance, because they only wanted that identity politics in order to push him through into the presidency. But admittedly, where he was charismatic, she isn't. And so We can see through her. She's a chameleon. When they unleashed her and they allowed for her to be able to take reporters' questions and things like that, it showed that she was completely incompetent. And frankly, not only do we feel disrespected, but I'm uncomfortable with Obama standing in front of us trying to scold us and then divert our attention away from the things that's really meaningful, especially for our families. I'm not comfortable with him. I don't want to hear any more messages of hope. I don't want to hear any more messages of joy. I can feel it with my pocketbooks. My friends can feel it with their pocketbooks.
Exactly.
And we're ready for him to get out of our way.
I mean,
I'll leave it like that, man. I mean, since you're not too familiar with it, man, I mean, I got to say this on record, man. Yeah, Obama definitely was out of line for that, bro. I mean, you can't expect me to do anything. It's like you gotta earn. It's like it's like a bum coming to you and demanding a dollar instead of asking you. You know, it's almost that same. It's like I dare you. Then to top it all off, you're gonna say you lucky Michelle ain't here. It's like it's that's totally disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's beyond disrespect. So I think they took our vote for granted for too many years, and I think we starting to wake up. I'm seeing like a lot of people starting to wake up. A lot of people is tired of this. Just because you're the skin folk, that don't mean you kin folk. We starting to see that. We got, we just had 8 years, and we got finessed, and he told us to vote for Joe Biden. We got finessed again. So like we get tired of this. Like, all right, somebody got to do something. I mean, you're just not automatically entitled to my vote. And you can't. There's a better way to approach to ask me instead of trying to talk down to me or try to scold me on something that's my choice. Just like this, I started to make a shirt like a post. They talk about women's choice and women's, my body, my choice. But hey, Barack, is my vote my choice? So you don't own my vote. None does the Democratic Party. You could ask me and you can sell me, but don't scold me. Don't tell me what I should be doing. But I open it really like that, bro.
I hear you. Look, I don't have anything to say to it.
You cool with Obama? you cool with Obama? Oh man, oh yeah, yes sir, Mr. Obama.
So when it comes to media, you know what I'm saying? We all know how media is, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna form an opinion off of something. So I need to be very educated on the whole scope and everything, you know what I'm saying, before I can actually form an opinion. So what your opinion is your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, everybody has a right to their opinion. All I can say is that regardless of who you vote for, just make sure you're educated on their policies, what direction they're trying to take the nation, and vote accordingly.
Well, it's more than about the vote. It's about the audacity to approach me the way you're approaching me, and it kind of showed the arrogance of this person who we thought highly of, and we like, even through your conversation earlier, that the enthusiasm we got behind, and then he finessed us. But then not only finessed us, but then you got the arrogance, you got the audacity to come at me, specifically calling us out. So as you do got to take offense. I would suggest, if you ain't look at it in its entirety, because he's calling you out. You share the same skins, he's calling you out. So I mean, if that don't wake you up, if that don't slap you in the face, like, I don't know what will. I mean, it's like, it's, again, all I could equate it to, like, that that bum that feels you entitled to give you $1. Like, man, you could ask me for that $1, and I'll give it to you if it's in my wheelhouse. But you can't demand something from me, and then not only demand something from me, try to insult me into giving it to you. That's more what it's about. It's like, it's disrespectful as a man. That's just like, all right, man. Let me borrow your car, man. I gotta go pick up something. You say no, and I start talking shit to you. Will I get the car? Will that give me your car?
Nah.
So that's what it's about. And then we framed you so high on our list. This was a shock and disrespectful that you would come at us like that. So that's what it's about. So
I got you.
Yeah, so disrespectful. You're out of pocket. If I would have been in that room, I'd have had to say something. I couldn't have. I'd have been, hold up, man. Hey, hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They would have had to walk you out the room.
They had to walk me out. Like, man, I'd have been house something. Like, I'd have asked, hey, can I say something? Like, nah, you're not the way you frame it is all out of line. I mean, yeah, you can't scold me. You can't shame me. You can't talk down to me and get me to respond. That shows me how much you think of me. If you coming at me like that. So like I'm a kid or something like that. Like, nah, we grown ass men out here. So
I got you.
So that's all it's about. Like, that's disrespectful. As a man, you can't come at another man like that. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, yeah, it ain't about the vote. This is about how he came at us. You know what I mean? So, that's all it's about. With that being said, we right at an hour and a half, man. We're gonna see y'all next week.
On the next one.